So CRKT's been impressing me lately. They've been dropping a lot of really cool knives that are somewhat out of their wheelhouse, at least from what we typically see from them. And they've been very impressive, some of which have been USA made. They've been doing automatics, premium titanium knives with M390 steel. They've been using other steels like MagnaCut. So I've been very impressed with CRKT lately, so let's check out what's in this box. So this is one thing that they have kind of changed with their limited edition knives is this magnetic box pouch. This card does say, you know, it's limited to 500 pieces. We have M390 blade steel with a titanium handle. Let's check this Fial out. This is the Fial. Now, let's undo the wrap. Ooh, check that baby out. Ooh, and I already see something very unique inside here. Check that out. So we have titanium. It looks like a titanium clip and back spacer. I like the way they did the lanyard hole back there. And it is a front flipper. So there's no jimping on the front flipper though. Let's see how, ooh, not too bad for a non-jipped front flipper actually. Surprisingly really good for no jimping. I do prefer jimping though, regardless, and I do feel quite a bit of lock stick. So it does have some lock stick, and we're gonna try to work that out here in a minute, see if we can't fix that. I'll show you guys some tricks here in a second that might or might not work, but this is a titanium liner lock, and you can see there's something back there we're gonna check out here in a second. There's a nice little feature right here, but it's a titanium liner lock with titanium scales. And it is riding on bearings, but I can see a washer in between the scales. So there's good lock bar access, but typically with a titanium lock bar, you wanna see steel lock bar insert, so it's steel on steel contact, or at the very least a thick lock bar. And you typically want to see it carbonized if it's going to be titanium on steel. So back here we have a pivot, so that's why there's probably a washer in there for this reason right here. So this rotates out and it is pretty smooth, but you can see it's almost, I mean, you can see the seam, but it is very well fit. And then you have a thumb stud right here to knock out or to take out the corkscrew, so you can undo the corks in your champagne or wine bottles. Pretty cool. This is a Wong design. I'm not sure if this is just stuff that he typically does, but yeah, hey, I've seen a couple knives with this feature on them, so you know, maybe it's popular to some extent. I can see there's like a little bar right there that is creating the tension for the corkscrew. So it's like a little spot for it to hit and put pressure on. Now, as far as this front flipper goes, like I said, no jimping. However, it's very easy to use for a no jimped front flipper. The detent is not really strong, which is good. I typically do prefer jimping though, but not that big of a deal. Ergonomics are really, really good. The backspacer does protrude out just a little bit, so I do feel that, but it's not horrible. The clip works great. I did already slip it in the pocket, and it you know, is nice and smooth in the pocket. It is a titanium clip. Titanium everything pretty much. Full titanium handled knife, which is really, really cool. And if you look, there's no hardware. No hardware. So the hardware looks like it's on the inside. It's very unique how they did this. I might have to disassemble this. It is very interesting how this thing is put together, where the screws look like they're on the inside and they are set to where it looks like the body kind of slides down. There is a couple screws holding it in place as well from it sliding down and you popping off, almost like the way you hang a picture on the wall. Very smooth on the drop. Now, a couple negatives really quick that I've just noticed right off the bat. When I choke up, yes, this thing does poke me quite a bit. This is somewhat of a specialty piece, so I don't expect this to be, you know, my work knife or anything like that. This is, you know, an elegant knife. This is something you take out of the pocket, you know, if you have to open something up, if you have to cut something really quick, it's fine. You know, open up a wine bottle, but it's more for, you know, the gentleman type that's not probably going to be breaking down cardboard and doing crazy stuff with their knife. Now, That being said, the lock stick is pretty significant. I have tried to dry off the lock face and it doesn't seem to be working. So let's try to add some, I guess first we'll try to add some graphite, and then if not, we'll add some permanent marker. So here is some graphite. It's just a mechanical pencil, and I'm going to add it onto this lock bar, or sorry, the lock face, not lock bar, the lock face. Now, permanent marker works, I think, sometimes even better. And a lot of times I like to do permanent marker and the graphite. That definitely helps. When you do a hard open though, that lock bar does move over pretty significantly, but it is helping a lot. Let me do the permanent marker and the graphite. So we're just gonna go dot, dot, dot. Add a bunch of little dots, maybe rub it on a little bit, let it dry. Add another layer. And then I like to open and close it a few times. And then add another layer. This is just typically how I do it. Add another layer. There's that stick right there. Now let's dry it. And then we will add graphite to the face of that. This seems to be the best way to do it, in my opinion. At least this has been the #1 way that works for me. And right there, even with a hard open, no problems. Not sure how long it'll last. Typically you have to reapply this 3 or 4 times for it to last, you know, a good while. But anyways, so now the lock bar is nice and smooth. However, the lockup is nice and strong. Almost a little stronger than I prefer, you know, especially with a hard lockup. You know, it's at like 70–80%, which typically you want to see early lockup with a brand new knife like this. Like I said, that front flipper works great. The blade shape with these ergos is going to work really good for opening things up, you know, if that's what you're going to use it for, or cutting down on a flat surface, like cutting up, you know, I don't know, maybe some olives or something. But this wine bottle, or the corkscrew, is actually pretty cool little feature, you know. I kind of wish it lifted up with this, like you just lift this up and it kind of just lifts with it. That would have been pretty cool. But you know, hey, it works just the same, no problems there. Not sure how good it's going to be as a corkscrew. Feels like it'd be just fine though. Not too shabby. The jimping right there is pretty damn functional. Like I said, my negatives, you know, this is sharp right here, so you know it does kind of poke you a little bit. The lock stick is, you know, pretty significant for fresh out of the box. Now, you know, lock bars sometimes just need to break in, so, and you know, maybe that might be the case here. I like how there's no hardware though, at least showing, aside from the pivot, which does have a really cool style to it. So like I said, it's an elegant knife. It's something that is supposed to be special. This is a limited edition piece, so this is more of a collector's piece or something special for, you know, the wine or champagne consumer that also likes to carry an elegant pocket knife. All in all, you know, it's pretty cool. And again, I like seeing CRKT doing things like this. I like seeing them do not only premium knives, but kind of stepping out of the box a little bit. Now, I know they've done this stuff in the past, so I don't want to make it seem like they've never done anything like this. They definitely have, but it's nice to see in hand, because now I see that they have a bunch of models dropping recently in 2024 that have just been really, really awesome, you know, and I think that this is a great way for CRKT to get back on the map with knife guys, right? Because it's one thing to be in big box stores, but it's another thing to be a knife guy knife, or a knife consumer's knife, like somebody who really loves knives and understands the knife community, understands steels, understands materials, and understands price range of what you're paying for with the materials and how well those materials do. And when you start getting to those guys are going to be very specific in the types of knives that they like. But anyways, there you guys go. If you guys like this type of content, I will put some cards up on the screen, and you guys can check that out to see more of my content. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.